stood there boldly, sweating in the sun. Felt like a million, felt like number one. The height of summer, I'd never felt that strong, like a rock. I was 18, didn't have a care, working for peanuts, not a dime to spare. But I was leaning, solid everywhere, like a rock. My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock.
Please stand as we acknowledge the arrival of the Honourable Prime Minister.
And I stood arrow straight, unencumbered by the weight of all these hustlers and their schemes. I believed in my dreams. Where'd they go?
I now invite the Honourable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, SC, to take the oath of office as Prime Minister
I sit and I wonder sometimes,
and to receive the instruction.
Please remain standing to the playing of the national anthem
Kamla
of the Republic of
Persad-Bissessar,
Trinidad and Tobago.
swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago and will uphold the Constitution, this Constitution, and the law.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen.
As we gather today, may this occasion stand as a moment of purpose and progress. May it reflect our shared commitment to serving the public good and building a future shaped by integrity, vision, and care. May the work we highlight today remind us of the value of dedication, of what can be accomplished when effort meets intention, and when service is guided by responsibility and respect. May our mission continue to bring hope and love to our people, to strengthen our shared vision for a brighter tomorrow, and to fill our endeavors with joy in both purpose and progress. May this event bring pride in what has been achieved, inspiration for what lies ahead, and confidence in our continued journey toward better outcomes for all.
You may be seated. The Honourable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Senior Counsel, MP, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Senator, the Honourable John Jeremy, Senior Counsel, Attorney General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The Honourable Jerlene John, MP, Minister of Works and Infrastructure, and the Line Minister for UDICOT. Senator Dr. the Honourable Kennedy Swarat Singh, Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development. Members of the Cabinet and Parliamentary Secretaries. Heads of diplomatic missions and other members of the Diplomatic Corps. Mr. Ian Alleyne, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, and other permanent and deputy permanent secretaries. Mr. Shankar Bidesi, Chairman of the Board of UDICOT and First Citizens Bank. Members of the Board, Management, and Staff of UDICOT. Chairman of State Boards, Mr. Gregory Hill, Regional Investment Banker, Mr. Christopher Peter Sinclair, International Development Specialist, Captains of Industry and Commerce, representatives of the Inter-Religious Organization of Trinidad and Tobago. Specially invited guests, members of the media, all those joining us live online, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Reina Kaulasa. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the official launch of the Trinidad and Tobago Revitalization Blueprint, Phase 2 of the National Recruitment Drive. We begin this afternoon's program with opening remarks from our first speaker. Please join me in welcoming Chairman Shankar Bidesi, Chairman of UDICOT and the First Citizens Bank.
Thank you very much, Reina. Honourable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Senior Counsel, MP, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Senator the Honourable John Jeremy, Senior Counsel, Attorney General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honourable Jerlene John, MP, Minister of Works and Infrastructure and Line Minister for UDICOT, members of the Cabinet and Parliamentary Secretaries, heads of diplomatic mission and members of diplomatic corps, all protocol observed. Well, I'm here in two capacities, as Reina outlined, Chairman of UDICOT and Chairman of First Citizens Bank. I'll first focus on First Citizens Bank. As you'll be well familiar, First Citizens Bank is a majority owned by the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and is no stranger to a major project financing. Now, over the past 3 years, First Citizens has successfully financed and underwritten approximately $1.5 billion in construction-related projects across multiple jurisdictions and industries, including hospitality, residential, infrastructural, and government. So the record demonstrates that banks' proven capacity to structure, underwrite, and manage complex financing transactions across the range of sectors. So just to be a little practical, those seeking financing for construction and general construction project, beyond the standard of due diligence items, the bank requires project-specific information assurances from proponents. They include, but not limited to, detailed project budget. The bank will also appoint an independent project monitor and quantity surveyor to map the process of the project to ensure compliance. You will have an assignment of engineering and procurement construction contract, so that protects the bank's interest. You need to have cost overrun guarantees, performance guarantees, and submission of a track record information. You need to have all of that. And of course, for public-private partnerships, the bank will also require, in addition, an executed PPP contract, that's very important, and a credit assessment of the public body. In this case, it will be UDICOT. Now, of course, the process will vary from bank to bank, as the case may be, but these represent the core requirements for these type of projects. So the role of FCB Investment Division in supporting PPP projects, well, we play a pivotal role in the origination, structure, and execution of PPP contracts, public-private partnership. So we provide these services: transaction, structure, and advisory services, capital raising and syndication, finance modeling and feasibility support, PPP execution support, capital market solutions for refinances. Through these functions, First Citizens can play a financial role in the PPP projects. Now, that's with respect to the construction. When you go later on now, after construction is completed, you have the retail and commercial banking. They provide services such as mortgage financing for home buyers, small to medium enterprises and commercial loans, deposit and transactional services. So that downstream engagement allows FCB to take part in the construction and post-construction, and it supports long-term economic sustainability for the end users, which is homeowners and commercial enterprises. Now, we have a quite strong corporate team at FCB, and I want to assure the local, regional, and international community that my role as chairman of both First Citizens and UDICOT, that I shall not present any unfair advantage to any persons or corporate entity seeking to participate in this major infrastructural development that's been rolled out today. That is First Citizens, now UDICOT. So the Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago is wholly owned by the government, and it is the premier project manager for government projects. And we are charged with responsibility of developing, constructing, managing projects and facilities of the state. We are now into business administration. Now, UDICOT has right now 130 active projects, including portfolios of health, administration, homeland security and defense, accommodation, heritage, which is restoration, sports and recreation, tourism. It's quite an extensive portfolio of projects. We have a robust team of 375 employees comprising dynamic qualified professionals. And we are the largest engine for urban development in Trinidad and Tobago. Just a bit of a recent history. Just take you back to the then People's Partnership Government between 2010 and 2015, led by the Honourable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. UDICOT delivered several projects within time and within budget, right? Led, of course, by the then chairman of UDICOT, Mrs. Geraldine John, as she was then. We dealt with the national security infrastructure, relocation of Parliament to the international waterfront, San Fernando Teaching Hospital, and the Cuba Children's Hospital. All of those were done within time and within budget and up to international standards. Fast forward to the present now. Some of the current flagship projects include, well, the Port of Spain Central Block, operationalization of the Cuba Children's Hospital, the Judiciary, Homeland Security and Defense portfolio, and now we have this massive revitalization in national infrastructure and the creation of an international hub comprising multinodal projects, which the Honourable Minister of Works and Infrastructure will delve into a bit later. Now, this project will be rolled out in several nodes, and there will be significant opportunities for regional and international governments, large contractors, locally, regionally, and internationally, middle-sized to local contractors, banking sector, insurance sector, hardwares, retailers, distributors, local manufacturers, short-term and sustainable employment for nurses, doctors, engineers, skilled workers, cooks, restaurant staff, stevedores, accountants, truck drivers, artists, administration staff, landscapers, cleaners, surveyors, role for everyone, marketing professionals, IT professionals, parlors, security farmers, cane operators, lawyers, and fabricators. Pardon the juxtaposition there, right? Everyone will get a fair chance, not just for work, but a fair chance for decent work. And that, I believe, is in keeping with the UN Sustainable Goals for decent work and economic growth. But before the end of today's program, there will be a kickstart of the expression of interest fees. The projects will be via multi-development approach, which is the PPP public-private partnership and government to government. The process will be conducted through various stages: issuance of the EY, submission, evaluation, and award. And we rest assured that UDICOT has been complying, right, to a large extent, and we're looking for optimum compliance with the Procurement and Disposal of Property Act 2015, with clear oversight by the Office of Procurement Regulations, which they are here today. So starting from tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. at Hyatt Point Fortin Motel, there's going to be a centralized unit set up to provide information comprising the various ministries in a synergistic format to prevent delays and the bureaucracy in dealing business. UDICOT will also be there, but since it's an active procurement process, all they can do is direct it to the website and give general information. So I give my word, summing up, I give my word to the local, regional, international community that UDICOT will commit to transparency and fairness to ensure stakeholder confidence. UDICOT will be managing projects rigorously according to project schedules, and my team and I will be walking the ground at various sites from as early as 3 a.m., working with yours truly, the Honourable Minister Julian John, as our order of business. We also expect you, all developers, contractors, and subcontractors, employees, and downstream industries to work hard, smart, and in a highly disciplined manner. UDICOT will be demanding performance and value for money, and we will be holding all investors and contractors to account. So, to end, I cannot overemphasize that this national project would not have been possible without the countless hours and its enabled spearheading by the Honourable Minister Julian John and the strong commitment, the vision, and drive and leadership of the Honourable Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Thank you very much.
Ushanka. Next, we invite the Senator, the Honourable Kennedy Swarat Singh, Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development.
Yes. Honourable Prime Minister, good evening. Cabinet colleagues, members of the Diplomatic Corps, captains of industries, members of the media, welcome. We only have a few minutes to make a very short presentation. So, in a little bit, you're going to hear a lot about where we intend to carry Trinidad and Tobago. Under the leadership, the direction, the guidance and the vision of our Prime Minister, and the support of all our cabinet colleagues, we also have begun under her direction, under the Prime Minister's direction, to implement and to action some of the stuff we, as public sector, have to undertake in order to be able to drive some of the change we are going to see. So, part of why we have been in this engagement, during the campaign, the Honourable Prime Minister would have alluded to the fact that Trinidad and Tobago need to drive a new economic engagement, a new revitalization, because we have had 10 years of inertia. 10 years where very little has happened. 10 years where Trinidad and Tobago has been leapfrogged by other nations. Today, under the guidance of the Honourable Prime Minister and with the hard work done by the Honourable Minister of Works and Infrastructure, we are now beginning to present and position Trinidad and Tobago to make our own leap into the future. To do that, we need to make sure and have a public sector that's ready to support that drive and initiative. I am happy to announce that our cabinet has agreed to a priority portal desk. Traditionally, there's been lots of times when, in fact, this was a recent case in the papers, where there are many persons who have been frustrated and for years have taken a long time in order to get approval to get projects done, large projects, significant projects. We have had a fractured multi-sector approach. In fact, recently I had to intervene with the Minister of Health support because just to tell you that the US Embassy had a project and they had two components to the project, one on Port of Spain Corporation side, the other on Diego Martin Corporation side. and the person in charge of health at the corporation stopped that project for a number of weeks. So we have had to intervene, the Minister of Health had to intervene directly in order to get some of those things going. So what we want to do is to make sure that all of those areas of bottlenecks we begin to address and begin to drive and to make sure that persons who want to invest and have legitimate expectations can be supported by the public sector. In fact, the EMA provided me these figures. The EMA has said to me that in the last 5 years, $34 billion of potential projects sat in their coffers. Not only are they awaiting feedback for some of these projects, but people have gotten so fed up that they just walked away from them. In fact, over $1 billion of those was just taken out of the system altogether. These are some of the things that we have had to grapple with and to ask ourselves, why, given where we are geographically, given where we are from a capacity perspective, given where we are from financial services perspective, why are we not seeing the type of investments we need to see? Therein lies some of the problems. The Prime Minister then has directed us, the Minister of Finance, myself, and our cluster, to ensure that this bureaucracy now works for us. So what we are proposing, therefore, is a one-stop shop, a premium end-to-end online process. Many of you as developers will know we already have a developed TT desk that integrates 18 agencies. What the Cabinet has approved is that with planning and EMA, we now set up a priority process desk where when these applications of a certain size, over 50 million, come into that desk, it will be given urgent attention and care for an approval process expanding or spanning no more than 90 days. We are turning bureaucracy into opportunity, red carpet and red tape into red carpet, and making sure that investments and investors have the support of this administration as we seek to bring foreign direct investment. Also, the Minister of Finance would have alluded in his budget speech that the kind of growth we want to see in Trinidad and Tobago can be driven only with the support of the private sector, international agencies, international investors, and international expertise. Our role in planning, therefore, our role in the public sector is to support that drive. Of course, we have been making legislative amendments, and we probably may need to amend it even further to make sure that we are able to deliver. So this is not something that we are planning to do. Cabinet has approved it, and this desk is being set up now, even as developed TT continues to evolve. In this desk, we will also put in a feedback mechanism, so when there is any type of bottlenecking, we can then seek the intervention of the minister and therefore be able to move it forward. Now, I must tell you that with this kind of process and priority service, it will require us to amend the legislation that any project over 50 million, we don't have as yet the facility to make payments, but that is coming by the first quarter of next year. And we will be charging a fee once Cabinet agrees to what that fee is for that priority process. Colleagues, you will see in a little bit where we're going. What we are also showing is what we are putting in place to help all of us get there. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Minister Swarat Singh. Now please welcome Mr. Gregory Hill, Regional Investments Banker.
The Honourable Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Senior Counsel, Honourable Minister of Finance, Trinidad and Tobago MP, the Honourable Attorney General, Cabinet members, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It is a genuine pleasure to be here today. It really is. Thank you for having me, the Government of Trinidad and Tobago, to share a few remarks around innovative financial and investing solutions. Having worked across the length and breadth of the Caribbean's financial landscape, I have had the privilege of engaging with regional and international investors, multilaterals, and global financial institutions on projects that blend capital and commercial discipline with developmental impact. I am therefore delighted by this visit to share concepts on mobilizing capital innovation and financing strategies with sovereign-backed investments to finance the revitalization agenda right here at home. My perspectives center around 3 pillars. Firstly, investment in real assets and infrastructure can expand productivity and open new markets. Secondly, the creation of a modern payments and globally linked financial architecture will allow capital to move easily and transparently. Thirdly, the mobilization of funds through public-private partnerships, innovative financial instruments, and real estate investment trusts, or REITs as we call them, can share risks and rewards fairly, and this generates developmental capital while containing and constraining debt to GDP levels. Ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago's debt is investment grade, and its capital markets, both equity and debt, provide a credible base for local and foreign participation. Right now, across global markets, investors are searching for the next frontier. Economies that combine macroeconomic stability, rule of law, and untapped growth potential. That is what investors are looking for, and Trinidad and Tobago offers precisely that balance. You are the Caribbean hub with a long track record of financial sophistication, skilled developers, a deep energy foundation, and a growing commitment to diversification through real assets, such as logistics, energy, real estate, digital, and financial architecture. For investors locally and internationally seeking yield and portfolio diversification, the opportunity here is not speculative. It is strategic. Investments in resilient, physical, and social infrastructure, from ports to business parks to sustainable housing, directly increases national productivity and regional competitiveness. These projects can anchor economic diversification and signal investor confidence. Any sovereign master plan must deliver to investors a modern and credible investable ecosystem where capital can be deployed. Likewise, the financing environment is also evolving rapidly, and hence one must catch the wave for this domestic revitalization. And that is where the work of investment bankers, investors, developers, and multinationals intersect with national development. There are several new approaches to financing development which are moving away from the traditional sovereign loans and bonds. I'll share a few with you. I mentioned real estate investment trusts. These can tap unused, trapped domestic savings and mobilize them into investment. It also allows global investors exposure to stable Caribbean real estate assets with an attractive risk-adjusted yield. Private equity and infrastructure funds provide catalytic risk capital, management discipline, and long-term value creation. Just this week, I was invited to the Blackstone Investor Conference, where they stressed the point that investors are looking for new frontiers, new alternatives, and there's been a growth in private equity and private credit, searching for real asset investments. Corporate and project debt instruments, these can be syndicated across local and international lenders and allow projects to attain scalable, cost-efficient capital. Based on some of the transactions that I've done across the Caribbean, from Turks and Caicos to Suriname, Capital can be raised not only domestically, regionally, also internationally. Family wealth offices and institutional investors from the Caribbean to New York, London, Toronto, and Dubai increasingly view Caribbean markets as credible, ESG aligned, and offering inflation-resistant returns. Through blended financing with multilateral development banks, a country can also enhance its credit quality. It can share risks, and it can attract more global capital into viable projects via de-risking mechanisms, such as using a meager insurance wrap. The country must explore new and innovative financing solutions under this principle of blended finance. Blended finance calls for the use of multilateral, public, and domestic private sector financing, export credit agency structured credit, such as the UKEF, FinDev, US Exim, to name a few. Blended finance brings all sources of capital together under one umbrella. Public-private partnerships via concessions, such as toll roads, for example, can also attract foreign direct investment in support of off-balance sheet development capital. Once operational, these transactions can then be exited to the local markets, to local investors via the stock exchange or listings. Existing partners that can be leveraged are IDB, CAF, Afri-Exim, CDB, the Green Climate Fund, and the World Bank, to name just a few. And among the tools that should be evaluated are debt for nature and debt for social swaps, which can generate interest savings that can then be channeled to non-revenue developmental projects. And this, ladies and gentlemen, remains off balance sheet. These swaps have been used actively in the Caribbean, Latin America, and Africa. These international partners play a vital role in moving our projects from concept to execution. They can drive project preparation, strengthen procurement, and bring technical expertise that reduces costs and improves delivery of resilient national projects, and therefore are a key ingredient in the blended finance cocktail. However, to attract capital at scale, projects must be structured to international standards. Ownership, approvals, and the procurement processes must be clear. Risk must also be assigned to the parties that are best suited to handle them. Payment integrity is also essential. Project contracts should anchor revenue collection on the national payment rails. When payment flows are transparent and settlement occurs on time, pricing improves, investor confidence strengthens, and project delivery accelerates. Ladies and gentlemen, in short, Trinidad and Tobago now has the financial architecture and the experience to make national infrastructure investable at scale. Similarly, the government should embrace its very own natural capital and biodiversity ecosystem stock to turn natural assets, which include carbon credits, mangroves, reefs, and forests, into sustainable, nature-backed capital sources. This can support a developmental agenda using innovative blended financing and off-balance sheet financing tools. Trinidad and Tobago is an asset-rich nation situated below the hurricane belt that needs to act accordingly. These investments also serve a broader strategic objective, positioning Trinidad and Tobago as the international financial center of the Caribbean. This in turn will attract other IFCs from the US to Canada, the Gulf, Singapore, and India, and China to set up regional hubs in Trinidad and Tobago with the GMT time zone aligned with the Americas. As the Ministry of Finance continues to evolve the tax legislation to support the IFC and special economic zones to attract investors, any credible financial hub also demands world-class physical infrastructure, transparent regulation, and strong investor confidence. The office towers, logistic hubs, and data center networks built today are not just assets, they are enablers for the regional and international capital flows of tomorrow. So my message to you today is clear. Now is the moment to engage. Now is the moment to invest. For the developers, financiers, and institutional investors from the Caribbean to the Gulf, this should represent a compelling opportunity to deploy capital that delivers competitive, risk-adjusted ROI, supports economic diversification, and contributes to sustainable national transformation. By working together, government, private investors, and multilateral partners, vision can be converted into tangible outcomes, deepen Caribbean capital markets, and unlock a new era of sustainable growth through the development of real assets and the creation of a new, sustainable asset class right here in Trinidad and Tobago, worthy of global investment. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Our next speaker is Mr. Christopher Peter Sinclair. I hope I got that right. International Development Specialist. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. Pleasant good afternoon to all. The Honourable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honourable Attorney General, Senator John Jeremy, my very good friend, Minister Sarak Singh, Senator Sarak Singh. We go back a very long way, both in Trinidad and in Barbados, of course. Other distinguished ministers in the Cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago, public officials, representatives of the diplomatic corps, and of course of international and regional organizations, representatives of the private sector, labor, civil society, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Since my very good friend, Mr. Hill, stole 2 minutes from me, I'm going to try to be as brief as possible so that we can get back on track. And I'm just taking a little dig at Gregory. But it really is, it is a distinct pleasure, Prime Minister, honorable colleagues, to be here this evening at this exciting launch for the transformation, really, of the Trinidad and Tobago economy and society through trying to crowd in critical private sector support to, of course, increase the capacity of the country to meet the developmental needs of your citizens. In my most recent incarnation, I am a consultant working with the Inter-American Development Bank, brought in to design, quite coincidentally, a project preparation coordinating mechanism to assist our member governments, including Trinidad and Tobago, I should say, particularly in this case, Trinidad and Tobago, to achieve just all of what you have seen here. Of course, there are other entities that will contribute to this process. And over the last few days, I've been in the Twin Island Republic, both here and in Tobago, enjoying this beautiful land, but speaking to interstate and critical stakeholders in the private and public sectors about this new exciting offer that IDB is putting on the table. What is it and why do we need it? You would have heard from several speakers about two critical things that are presenting challenges to the capacity to deliver this type of program. One, the doing business capacity. What is happening in the context of not just the bureaucracy, but the wider society that drives and promotes and instills a capacity to be able to deliver proper developmental projects in public and private spheres that will affect citizens, businesses, and of course, the country in general. The second thing is, how do you attract finance? What is the best way that you can attract finance? Can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, a secret? It's not so much of a secret. It's actually now public knowledge. Of all the regions in the world, the Caribbean the Caribbean is falling significantly behind in attracting international finance. Why? Because investors are saying, it is not because we don't want to invest in your countries. It is not because you don't have great ideas. It is not because there's an opportunity for us to make margin and profit and to help contribute to development. It is that the projects that are coming are not well prepared, are not properly structured, or are encapsulated in massive bureaucratic structures that do not allow for the penetration of businesses to be able to do projects at a scalable level. And so the IDB was asked by its governors and its stakeholders to assist in this process. And they invited me to assist in helping them to design that. And we have come up with a service offering that we are putting before all of our members in the Caribbean, and including those in the OECS that are not members through the Caribbean Development Bank. Today, I want to tell you what this service is. One, it is to assist you in getting your projects from ideation and conceptualization straight through to successful implementation by providing the best technical resources, expertise, and knowledge, not just from inside the bank, that's where the coordination comes, but matching that with the best global expertise externally and put it at your disposal and put it at the disposal of your partners in the private sector so that you can do all of the things that Gregory has spoken about and that Minister Sarak Singh spoke about in the regulatory side on the upstream, the social and environmental safeguards, the feasibility studies, the engineering studies, and on the downside, in the structuring of projects, the legal, the financial, all of those things that make projects attractive for investment, bankable, investable, and successful. And ladies and gentlemen, may I leave you with the best part of this entire process that IDB is offering, Honourable Prime Minister? We are offering it free of cost at point of delivery. So, as you move forward in this very exciting project that you have here, this very exciting program, we invite you to invite us to work with you to produce good projects that when investors see the concept, they understand that you have the full capacity, not just of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, but of international partners that will walk with you, hold your hands through the process to completion, that we can execute projects and lift, ladies and gentlemen, our capacity to deliver the best quality goods and services for our citizens. So in closing, I say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We are here to walk with you hand in hand. Please draw on us and ensure that we deliver on behalf of the ultimate beneficiaries, our citizens, our people. Thank you. May God bless all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sinclair. We now invite the Honourable Jaylene John, Minister of Works and Infrastructure, to deliver her feature presentation.
Thank you. Chairman Rena Kaulisa, Chairman of CAL. The very Honourable Kamla Persad-Bissessar of Senior Counsel, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Senator the Honourable John Jeremy, Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago. All of the speakers who preceded me, my cabinet colleagues, senators, excellencies, all of the protocol observed. Welcome to the Trinidad and Tobago Global Hub Revitalization Blueprint. It's been a long time coming But as she says, have no fear, Kamla is here. In 1998, the New York Times, famous media, called Trinidad a tiger in a field of pussycats. And after that, we have been planning. The last 30 years, since 1962 actually, we've been planning. And we've been planning. And whilst we've been planning, without focus, Saturday the 1st of November, because the world is not waiting on us, Saturday the 1st of November, I happened to look on YouTube, and there was Abdel El-Sisi of Egypt. That is Saturday, 2 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago, this is the competition. This is the competition. That was Saturday in Egypt. CC means business. This is supposed to, the grand opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum. They had last year 13.7 million visitors, arrivals into Egypt. This is supposed to assist them in having 30 million by 2030. That's 4 years old. This is serious business. And we can wait no longer, because not only is Egypt doing what they're doing, you have Saudi Arabia and Dubai and Singapore, and all these places we like to reference. Because in Trinidad and Tobago, we have decided we are not in a race to the bottom. We are not competing against, we don't want to be the best of the worst. We want to be the best of the best. And what do we have? This is very important, being outside that hurricane belt. Strong, stable democracy, we saw that demonstrated just a few months ago, where a government changed very, very peacefully. This is important, because when you invest your money, you have to be able to get it out. Highly sophisticated and experienced workforce. We have had 100 years of oil. We have been treating with big business for a long time. Big global business. We are on the same time zone with New York. America is our friend, but we are competitive. And of course, we still have substantially lower energy costs. Now is the time to awake the potential of our people, raise the quality of living for our citizens, all of our citizens, because the Prime Minister tells us the vision, the mission, hope, the output should be jobs, jobs, jobs. She's a very practical person. And of course, opportunities for our business community. We are going to invest in sound infrastructure and the environment and seamlessly align with the global community.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
So we are going to introduce ourselves as Trinidad and Tobago, because as I've said, we've been sleeping for 30 years. So with the help of the good JC, we are introducing ourselves to the world as a global marketplace. The vision, we have a very strong vision. We are very clear-eyed in terms of where we are going with our goals, our objectives and strategies, and we show that we have a concept, and you will see this concept being rolled out. We don't have all the answers, but our concepts are clear with respect to what the fundamentals on which they stand. We have development nodes, which are large geographical areas. You would have heard Mr. Sinclair talking about scaling up. We are scaling up. And of course, themes, we have implementation on the way forward, the suggested implementation on the way forward. And of course, this is very intentional and aspirational. Welcome to the future of Trinidad and Tobago. And as our Prime Minister said, the Revitalization Blueprint, the Trinidad and Tobago Global Logistical Hub, is our government visions to kickstart the economic expansion of Trinidad and Tobago, while strategically and intentionally stepping away from total dependence on the energy sector. It's still important, but we are going to step away and create a country that is safe, equitable, attractive, and functional. Achieving this vision will take all of us, and that is why there's such a diverse mix in this audience today, to make our country more relatable, sustainable, and fair for our future generations. And now with respect to our blueprint, it is not just talk. We are ready for action. Diversification, yes, it takes a plan, but diversification takes action. And that is why we are here today. And basically, We have the project design rigor and cyclic workflow. Each structure plan there that we have proceeded through iterative cycles of design rigor to ensure that the final product is the best quality. Loop 1, we use drone scans. So when you see our strata plan, our concept, they are the actual geographical location. We use cutting-edge drone scanning technology to model our sites and brought into our workplace of a digital twin, allowing a clear baseline, minimizing developmental conflicts. We did an engineering site analysis, checks on utilities and drains, coastal defenses, and soils to ensure minimal correction needed during the design stages. We tested for financial feasibility. So we have run the numbers. And of course, there is architectural excellence. And Honourable Prime Minister, as you know, all of this was done by citizens of Trinidad and Tobago with an average age of 40 years old. This is all Trinidad and Tobago. So we're ready for the world. You know, with the soca we say we're ready now. So mapping. The blueprint cyclic workforce, what this slide does is to look at the initial set of strategic, I'm having a conflict between my mic and my notes. We are looking at again we talk about review cycle engineering, the planning phases. We have done a lot of work to get to where we are today. The projects are designed to boost the economy in the first instance. We have financial right sizing, engineering correction. You know, this is not pie in the sky. We didn't just draw a pretty picture. And we have world-class concepts to compete. We have now 12 what we call 12 developmental nodes with sub-nodes inside of them. And these 12 nodes represent about 130 major projects on which we are building.
I will dare to do what I have to do to keep the people of Trinidad and Tobago safe, and that is my priority. I've said TNT first. That is my priority.
And that is our priority as a government. So we started with what we call the consolidation of justice. Carrera Prison Island, 25 acres. The Frederick Street, fondly called Dem Boys Jail by the mighty Shadow, and Golden Grove has 270 acres. We are talking about consolidating that into a major facility, one where we truly will have justice on time. So this is our Tamana Prison Campus sitting on 500 acres. So whether it is a youth juvenile detention center, agricultural facilities, the general population, training, maximum security, all of it consolidated into one hub. What it does, it's security reimagined, a unified force for a safer tomorrow, consolidation of police subdivisions, global security integration. We are establishing links with international networks and accelerating responsiveness. Let's move along. All right. Another views, and these are some of the benefits of what we call the Tamana Judicial and Correction Center. Enhancing our national security apparatus. Our police administration now sits somewhere on, I think it's between Sackville and Richmond Street, there in Port of Spain. And basically, again, we are saying we are going to consolidate their functions. I mean, and we have done this all with consultation with the stakeholders. We are not on a frolic of our own. So the National Security Complex serves as the premier operational and strategic headquarters. We really have to bring crime as something of the past by and large. And the Prime Minister and the government is very focused on that and leading the way. To catalyze this vision, we need to have strong and robust infrastructure. So this will function as a central nerve center, integrating, analyzing, and commanding all aspects of national security operation. It establishes a unified rapid response mechanism for domestic and international threats and ensures that the national security apparatus operates as a single, cohesive, and agile organism. The Commissioner of Police is here. I'm sure this is his vision come to life. Commissioner, I'll take a round of applause for that. This is your National Operations Center, all right? Let me move on to all of the basic, very important odds and ends. We have been to the Southwest Security Hub out in Cedras. It's an all-of-security approach we have taken. The border security upgrade in Tetron, Stobbles Bay, Camp Omega, right? We are going to upgrade all of these 20-year-old infrastructure, etc. We are going to work with foreign partners and ensure that there's an interagency coordination for all of this. And now we come to San Fernando. I have to rush ahead because we have a lot to show you. So in San Fernando, we have a total waterfront length of 2 miles and development site area of 400 acres. If we work together and we work hard, we can achieve this in the not too distant future. So the blueprint for transforming how we live, work, and travel, there's a historic district called Plaza San Carlos, right? And that is 1.3 million square feet of functional destination and retail service space to attract shoppers and so on across that waterfront. We are proposing a 5-star hotel and conference center and amphitheater, Health City South, just around 2014 or thereabout. We would have repurposed an admin building into a 216-bed tower in San Fernando, but that is still insufficient. The Legacy Hospital that is now operational, it was the intention to convert that into a medical school. It is now the intention again to do that, and of course, we are looking at 1,800 residences along the waterfront, the San Fernando waterfront.
San Fernando. Last train to
For those of us who have lived long enough,
and if you miss
to have a repurposed train, right? Just circle that hub. That it's really, again, it is when people come here, what do they see? We have to ensure that the experience is seamless, right? This is another look at all of the infrastructure and concepts that we intend to put there. And of course, we are looking at open-air district shops, cafes and dining spaces, multimodal transit hub, etc. Right? And these are other views. That is the suggested conference center. Our people are very creative. They have it in the form of a turtle. I tell people I'm from Charlottesville, and when Trinidadians will pet turtle in Charlottesville, we turn them over and eat them. Yeah. Where I'm from. Okay. All right. Good. So this is what the concept for the hotel, the waterfront hotel, 250 bed. And again, we have to look at the class of hotel we are looking at, and we are saying the stars, 5 stars, because we want everybody to come to Trinidad and Tobago. 50 marina berths, restaurants, spas, rooftop gardens, etc. We are talking about our health city, and in our Prime Minister's presentation, she will go through some another point of view. So I'll just race along. All these are the suggestions citing. All these lands are already there. I think we are going to continue doing some additional reclamation in the very near future. So waterfront residences, first multimodal hub, cultural center, art and culture district, and the health infrastructure. And this, what you're seeing there, that thin line, is really what I'm calling the South-South corridor, taking from the energy capital of San Fernando to the other energy hub in Mayaro, right? That's 100 kilometers of road, and that is already going out to tender. We have the first phase of that road from Taruba to Princestown already out to tender. We have this port. You're not here for a talk shop, you're here to work. So this port is there. It was built by the Kamla Persad-Bissessar administration between 2010 and 2015, very underutilized. But we are now looking to put in a phases 2 and 3 because our energy majors are telling us that they work out of, there's some inefficiencies with their logistics. So one in particular told me their laydown yard was in Chagaramas, Pointe-à-Pierre, and Lebitco. And there was a lot of inefficiencies in that. And if they can consolidate in Point Galeota, then of course there will be money to reinvest in Trinidad and Tobago. So what is there not to love? So of course this too is going out to tender. That is what Point Galeota look like. Of course it will not only service our own energy companies and the services providers, but we are looking at all of the islands around us who will need this support. Point Galeota. Port of Spain. Total waterfront length, 5 miles. In 2014, 2015, because we have been working on this for a long time, the lands around Port of Spain waterfront was valued at $1.4 to $1.6 billion. Now it's about $2.7 billion. So it has appreciated. The project site, 750 acres. The port of Port of Spain. The new port, that is. We've been toying around with that. Who are our competitors? The port of Kingston, a port in the Dominican Republic. The port of Kingston probably has a capacity of 2 million TEUs per annum. The Dominican Republic, 2.2. They have just gotten an investment from Dubai World and 750 million US dollars. And they are now going to move from 2.2 TEUs to 3.1 million TEUs per annum. Go big or go home. This is 400 acres of reclaimed land, and we are looking to do a port of 4 million TEUs per annum. Because currently the port of Port of Spain, they really are asleep. They do about 300 TEUs per annum. The one in Pipdeco, it's about 230,000 per annum. We can't compete with that. We really need to scale up. Right, so this is scaling up, where we are saying we are the most competitive port in the Caribbean, making for, not only cruise ship complex. I was asking for those cruise ship numbers. I think last year we did about 36,000. In Little Barbados, they did 800,000 cruise ship arrival last year. Right? So we really have a lot of potential that is sleeping. Okay, so we are looking at, and your infrastructure matters. Along Port of Spain, if we are taking, this is from the east of Port of Spain, the Sea Lots Industrial Park, the multimodal hub, that is the PTSC site, for those of you who knows. And then, of course, we have a causeway. I think it's a 1.5 mile causeway taking us into the port city. Cruise Ship Complex, Convention Center, Invaders Bay foreshore, etc. Invaders Bay. In Invaders Bay, there's about 54 acres of reclaimed land. We are going to do about another 40 acres of reclaimed land. And so this is the Invaders Bay foreshore that is very west of Port of Spain. We are talking about 300 premium waterfront apartments. You are seeing there's a mix of projects, so there's something in it for everybody. For the investor or the contractor who can build houses, or people who are interested in more complex projects like 400 berth marina docks, we are facilitating 4 5-star hotels, 1,000 rooms in 5 years, and 3,000 rooms in 10 years. After I've seen what President Sisi has done in Egypt, we probably have to scale that up a little more also. This is what we are proposing. And this is exactly to scale, ladies and gentlemen. Right? We are looking at the port city in the east. This is the Invaders Bay, so we are moving east. 25,000 person capacity convention center. In Dubai, they have a convention that goes for maybe 2 years. They do the same thing in Shanghai and in Singapore. We are looking at a 400 berth marina and international financial tower. We are on the same time zone with New York, and we intend to compete. We have a very mature financial sector, a lot of accountants and attorneys, so we are ready with the facilitatory legal apparatus. I am sure that we will be able to compete with those who have gone ahead of us. Because we are, after all, are from Trinidad, and I'm from Tobago, actually. The convention center. All right, so these are other views of what we are talking about. This was the old power gen site. We are looking at some residences there. All of this is the repurposing of Invaders Bay all along the portlands. You are seeing the that elevated causeway going into the port city, the 400-acre new port city. This will be the new updated PTSC multimodal hub, where we are going to have inter-island, inter-city ground transport coming into, coalescing into that hub. This is a better view of the port city. We are also going to have dry docking there, because we are safe harbor for the hurricane. And basically, we currently, we don't have the draft to accommodate what they call the Panamax vessels. So this port will have the deepest draft in this side, this part of the world, at 18 meters for berthing. So that's another view of the port. Sea lots. We have not left out anybody. We are talking about, again, the industrial park there for free trade zone because it has a proximity to the port. People can come off, do their manufacturing, etc., the value added, and just take it back to the port for shipping out, and that will save on the cost. Port of Spain General Hospital, well, currently there is a new bed tower, 540 beds. We are proposing another 1,200 beds because when we have that redundancy, we then get into the health tourism market because our healthcare is exceptional when we do it well. And we have 4.5 hours of mainland America where the cost of healthcare is literally prohibitive. We recognize this. This is the Savannah. Again, we have to find accommodation for our cultural activities, and basically we have read the covenants and so on, and we are also proposing work in the Savannah. We are a very diverse country for a small country, and diversity is not our problem. Diversity is our superpower. And basically, whether it's the carnival culture or multicultural festivals such as Pago and so on, and we are looking at a museum of the future. You wouldn't recognize that, but that is 2 acres of where that jail was in Port of Spain. Shadow called it Them Boys Jail. We are suggesting that it be repurposed into an exhibition and event hall where even young artists can go and rent a space. It's for classroom and studios, for teaching and workshop, conference facility, rooftop restaurant, etc. Carrera, repurpose. This is currently the island prison that we have. When we consolidate our jails, we'll be saving upward of 40%, $60 million per year. All right, that is now being spent in keeping prisoners housed. So this is a beautiful island where we now have prisoners. So earlier when I spoke about the consolidation at this Stamina space, at 75, we are suggesting this is a concept, 75-room boutique hotel with all amenities, etc., etc. This is another view of it. And as we move and consolidate, this is what we are proposing that is done with the land. This now is Golden Grove, where we have one of our largest prisons. We are talking about decentralization with respect to our governmental activities, moving government from being so concentrated in Port of Spain, putting it more in the east, in the west, not in the west, in the east, in central, and a little bit in south. All of that. So the overall benefits, just missed something here. We are going to be upgrading our utilities. We know every time the rain floods falls for 5 minutes, Port of Spain floods. So we are looking at world-class utilities and infrastructure. And these are the essential bedrock of a modern, prosperous society, providing the fundamental services that power economic growth and enhance the quality of life. Right? Improve drainage and retention of new sites, and of course, we will be able to repurpose that water. So during the construction phase, and we are talking about, we are rolling out now, we are actually rolling out today. So we are expecting that during the construction phase, that we are going to be creating over 50,919 jobs with the help of the private sector. Direct jobs, indirect jobs from the supply chain and induced jobs. Our next steps. Now sometimes the Prime Minister tells me, Jolene, hedge your bet. No, Prime Minister, we're putting it all on it. We're leaving it here today. All right, we are going very aggressive. We are saying November 2025, which is now, so this is today, we are going to be issuing the expression of interest. Today, before you leave, everyone will be given a QR code. And you scan it. It takes you into a portal. That takes you into a portal. That is the e-tender portal. So today, the process has started. And this process goes until about mid-January. And of course, we expect to roll out. We expect to have boots on the ground by April to August, April of evaluation and award of requests for proposals, by April 26, right into 2028, because we are going to be rolling out in waves, as it were. And the forecast construction timeline, and we are looking at 2025 to 2030, we are saying, if we work hard and all goes well and you work with us, and we have the ambition that I know resides in every citizen of this country, there are some key projects we are expected to have by August 26 to have contracts signed by, boots on the ground by August 2026. Project start, some of them the National Security Complex, Minister of Homeland, you've been asking me, right, by December 27, and phase 1 by August 2028 will be empty in Carrier Island. We'll be relocating the people, the inmates from the Port of Spain prison redevelopment. And Golden Grove will start the work there also. All right, so we're ready. December 2028, again, issuance of more RFPs to proponents. So we are doing it in waves. And of course, all of the information is there. We start today and tomorrow you can go down. We have several booths at the Hyatt Hotel, and there will be staff there to tell you a little more about these projects. All right, so all of this, we are talking about our forecasted construction timeline going into, if it is, we do this the way we are laying it out today, in 2030 you would not recognize this country. And far less in 2035, you'll be in a whole different space. We were in Tobago this week, and we are going to roll out in Tobago when that time comes in a few weeks' time. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Global Logistical Hub, the future Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you so much. If you will, all just stand. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Thank you.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light, and I held firm.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Please have your seats.
Thank you. I think so. Yeah.
Give it up for MP Jalen John, our Minister of Works and Infrastructure. I know it's a mouthful, but we live in very exciting times, and we're looking forward to partnering with everyone here locally, regionally, and internationally as we lift off Trinidad and Tobago. So let me recognize all the distinguished persons who are here with us today. Of course, Honourable AG, Senator John Jeremy, Minister John, acknowledged, the Chairman of UDICOT and FCB, of course, Honourable Senator Surat Singh, our Minister of Planning. I was very excited about the things you mentioned, because we have to really do better with the ease of doing business, and we have to remove those blockers that we have in regulations and legislation. I know you mentioned, to do a project in our country, we have a piece of law that you have to get some kind of approval from a person, a local government corporation in health. And that person knows nothing about construction. That person has no experience in engineering, and your project gets stopped there for the longest while. And I think you spoke of it, one of you spoke of it, what happened with the US Embassy, the building there, that was stuck because of these outdated laws. So laws have to definitely change. Let me again acknowledge all our cabinet members, members of the House, members of the Senate, and our parliamentary secretaries, your excellencies of the diplomatic corps. We are depending on you, and we're hoping to use your leverage in your own countries to help us to get the investors that we need and the monies that we need. We were very lucky today that Mr. Chris Sinclair happened to be in Tobago with me yesterday, on other matters related to development. And I want to thank him very much for agreeing to speak with us today. And we know, they say Trini likes freeness. Thank you, sir, for the freeness you've offered to help us get these projects off going. Please put your hands together for Mr. Sinclair, our Bajan brother. With us today, I ask specially persons from the public service to be here. So can we give a round of applause to the permanent secretaries and other officers of the public service? Without them, we could never get these projects going. We have to have that synergy between the private sector and, of course, the public sector. All the specially invited guests who are here today, I thank you again for joining us. And as I share with you, we have changed the name of this diplomatic center. We are now calling it the Delivery Center. So today we'll share with you some of the deliverables. Thank you all for being here. We welcome you to share our government's vision for bold and transformative vision to rebuild and re-image Trinidad and Tobago. For every great project, there must be a blueprint, a clear plan. And above all, we must have a vision for a better, brighter, more prosperous future. And so it is my government's mission to improve the quality of life for all, not just for today, but for our generations to come. So even policy, every policy we craft is rooted in one principle, and that is delivery. It has been over 6 months when we took office, and I can proudly say that the promises we made are being put into action. Tangible results are already being seen. The people of our great nation place their faith and their hope and trust in my government and I, and we are committed to a renewed and revitalized TNT. I assure you, the work began on day one and continues on every single day. The Minister of Finance, the Minister of Planning rolled out our budget, a budget that was one really aimed at delivering again. And that presented to us a roadmap, that budget, our first budget, a roadmap which charts the way forward for our next fiscal year. And the question that recurs is, where will we find the money? Where will we find the money? I told you then and I tell you now, we will find that money. And that is why we are rolling out these projects together to advise you, so that you and your various organizations, that you can help us find money that will bring money for investment, but will give you money to return back to your own country, back to your own organization. So we welcome you here today. I say for every project, there must be a blueprint and there must be a plan, and that is the blueprint that we put out here today. So one loud cried, where is the money coming from? And we work together to find it. And the other cry we hear from everyone is about jobs. We want jobs. That has been the cry on the ground. That has been the cry before we came into office. And that is still the cry. And in response to those cries for jobs, my government launched really recently a national recruitment drive for the public sector. I said we received over 110,000 applications, but if you were to look at those applications for each person, it's less persons, because some persons so want a job, they've applied for several jobs at a time. So we are analyzing the data, and we will be rolling out, I think it's from next week, the interview process for those who applied. Now that would have been for public sector jobs. Public sector jobs, but we have the whole private sector. And Mr. John, when she spoke, you can see in every sector there will be more jobs to come. Today, I wish to share with you our broader vision, our diversification thrust, which will generate thousands of jobs and build a stronger and more resilient economy. TNT, as others have spoken, and we all know, especially in recent times, we are a blessed and beautiful nation. We are fortunate to have many, many strengths that make us attractive to investors and to position us as a powerful economic hub in the Caribbean. Our nation has unique national competitive advantages, and I'll just name a few of them, some mentioned already. One, we are outside the hurricane belt. Thank you, God. We are outside the hurricane belt. We are a strategic location and time zone that bridges the Americas. We have a highly educated and skilled workforce. We have affordable and reliable energy supply. And we have a very stable democracy. We are the only country in the Caribbean. I was reminded of Mr. Sinclair last night when we went to Tobago. We are the only country in the Caribbean, you may not know this, with an investment grade sovereign rating. Did you know that? Trinidad and Tobago is the only country in the Caribbean with investment grade sovereign rating. What does it mean? It means that we can retain strong borrowings and strong investors into our country, and we'll have that power for investor confidence. So we do not take this lightly. We know that immediate and deliberate action is needed to move beyond our historical dependence on oil and gas. Geographically, mentioned before, we are located outside the belt, the hurricane, and we have neighbors in Latin America, in the Americas so close by, as well as North America. And some of our Latin American colleagues and neighbors are here. Can we give them a round of applause and thank them for joining us? I see my friend is smiling very widely. So we have begun implementing and putting things on the ground, but we have a lot of work to do. We have a strong legal system. We have a deep respect for the rule of law, even as we continue to confront the challenges of crime and safety. We have preserved sustainable economic ties locally with our private sector and regionally through CARICOM. But now, the time has come to open our doors internationally, to learn from and partner with countries that have successfully transformed their economies. For example, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, and others. Many of these nations were similar in positions like ours, heavily dependent on energy. Yet they transitioned, they grew dynamic, diversified economies. Let me give you one example. Today, less than 1% of Dubai's GDP comes from oil. Less than 1%. Its economy now thrives on trade, tourism, real estate, logistics, and financial services. Similarly, Singapore transformed itself from a small, resource-scarce island into a global economic powerhouse. Through strategic planning, foreign investment, motivation, education, and technology, Singapore has become a world leader in finance, in biotechnology, in logistics, and digital innovation. The success stories are there. What is needed is vision. What is needed is a mission. And what is needed is the political will to act, and to act now. The time is now. And we are doing just that. During my recent visit to the United States, we held productive discussions with the Crown Prince of Kuwait and representatives from Saudi Arabia. We made it clear that TNT is open for business. This is a message I intend to echo globally. TNT is open for business now, and everyone is welcome. At the same time, we strive to strengthen our partnerships with our traditional friends. The United States, the United Kingdom, China, India, France, French ambassadors here, our traditional partners. We intend to continue working with them and strengthening those partnerships and ties. And further, mentioned it before, very important, we need to penetrate markets of Latin America, whole of South America. We need to penetrate those markets. They are right on our doorstep. And you know what? Their population, their market population, I think is about 60 million people. So yes, in the CARICOM, but of course, in South America as well. So the world is our stage now. We are going globally. My government has a plan to reach the international corridors of capital. Our transformation plan will create an ecosystem for investment, motivation, and new economic activity. I know some of you saying, we've heard about these things before. We've heard about the word diversification. Yes, we've heard it. And indeed, diversification has been an elusive dream for decades. Too often a talking point with no real action. Minister John mentioned it, we've been planning and planning and planning. I thought you would have repeated the point when you showed from 1960. We've been planning and planning and we're planning. Well, today we have stopped planning and we're working. We have opened up TNT. Let's get the investors in locally, regionally, and internationally. The plans are being done and many are complete. So I said, I want to give you this assurance. Our projects will not be white elephants or illusions of grandeur. They will be grounded in purpose, built to produce real results. To ensure this, I am establishing oversight and governance committees, as mentioned by the Minister of Finance in the national budget. The first committee will be chaired by the Office of the Prime Minister to oversee project and capital allocation, to examine our national priorities and rank them from a development perspective. The second team we are setting up is an Economic Resilience Council and the Economic Development Board, which will guide diversification, shape policy, and monitor the key levers of our economy. This approach ensures synergy and collaboration, not fragmentation. One team will focus on diversification thrust, integration with foreign affairs, trade, and capital inflows. The other will ensure execution, that plans are translated into measurable outcomes. This brings me now to the critical role of you in the public sector. In my respectful view, the public sector is the engine room of national transformation. The public sector powers the delivery of essential services, together with water, electricity, telecoms, the very foundation on which our economy thrives. To transform our nation, every arm of the public sector must come together. PS, Head of the Public Service, is here today. PS Barrow, let's give her a welcome. Thank you for coming. And together with your PSs, so you in the public sector, we must come together to improve the ease of doing business and to remove unnecessary bureaucracy. My government will empower leaders within the public sector to make business happen. We will do this by revising the Public Service Manual, modernizing government across ministries and state enterprises. The time has come now not only to empower, but also to hold people accountable. I do not wish to go back. I want to go forward. But what we have seen in terms of accountability leaves much to be desired. And so we must hold people accountable for their actions. There must be real delivery, not promises, not speeches, but visible, measurable results, which citizens can see and feel in their daily lives. These reforms will strengthen governance, improve project management, enhance audits and reporting, and ensure that every dollar spent is tied to performance. Ministries will be held accountable to key performance indicators. When these changes take root, they will strengthen our financial stability and lay the foundation for greater rewards, including foreign exchange generation, which we need, and at the same time, economic diversification and human development. I know we must align our economic levers and ensure that everyone, every ministry, every state agency, every worker is moving in the same direction forward. There must be no red tape, no roadblocks, and no unnecessary delays. Today, I want to assure you today that under my leadership, There will be no reckless spending, and those who do so will be brought to book. Every dollar will be guided by fiscal responsibility and comprehensive reform. TNT's energy reserves have long been the lifeblood of our nation. The oil and gas sector built the foundation of modern TNT, pioneering our industries, creating our infrastructure, and financing our progress. And yet, while we continue to harness our energy resources and strengthen our partnerships in the energy sector, this very vital sector, the time has come to embrace a realistic and forward-looking diversification thrust. One where energy, excellence, and economic diversity coexist, driving sustainable growth for generations to come. And so I come to the moment that you have probably been waiting for, our vision for transformation, the vision. Ms. John has shared a lot of it with us this evening. And so it is great pride and unwavering resolve that I stand before you to launch the Trinidad and Tobago Redevelopment Program, a transformative initiative to reshape our communities, to reignite our country, our economy, and of course to affirm our shared commitment to progress, dignity, and opportunity for all. This is more than infrastructure. It is a blueprint. It's a blueprint to guide us along the way. From revitalized town sectors to modern transport corridors, from sustainable housing to vibrant public spaces, we are building not just with concrete and steel, but we also are building with care, creativity, and conviction. Every citizen in every corner of our country deserves to live in a place that reflects their worth. The program is designed to uplift not just the landscape, but also to uplift the lives within it. Jobs will be created, businesses will thrive, families will flourish, and our youth will see in every new building, in every restored street, a future which includes them. We are guided by the values that unite us: resilience, innovation, and respect for our own heritage. As we move forward, we will listen closely, we will act transparently, and we will work collaboratively with local communities, private partners, international allies to ensure the transformation is inclusive, it is sustainable, and enduring. The TNT Revitalization Blueprint Program is a national vision that is long overdue and belongs to each and every citizen of our country. As I said, this is not just another development initiative. It's a strategic and purposeful diversification effort designed to stimulate our economy, expand our national capacity, and reinvigorate and reimagine what our twin island state can and must become. It is not just a vision. It is a declaration of intent we make today. We are building iconic, enduring structures that will define our national landscape, rooted in global best practices of land use, urban design, and sustainable development. These projects are engineered to last, to inspire, and to lead. They will stand out as unshakable symbols of progress and permanence, just as they are, fusing cutting-edge innovation with the soul of our heritage. We are not merely designing spaces, we are shaping the future of TNT. Every element reflects the essence of our people, our vibrant diversity, our spiritual depth, our boundaries, and boundless forever creativity, and our unwavering belief in what lies ahead. This is our legacy. This is our nation, and this is our legacy in motion, for it will be nothing short of extraordinary. Trinidad and Tobago is poised for success and greatness. Our beautiful paradise stands ready to harness the strength, all our strengths, to become the global logistical hub for marine service, for aviation, logistics, higher education, tourism, energy, and financial innovation. The program will also focus on efficiency, cost savings, rationalization through the decentralization of government functions and the repurposing of existing infrastructure, such as the International Waterfront Complex. Every dollar spent will work harder for our people. Every asset will have a greater purpose, and every community will share in the benefits. This Revitalization Blueprint program will generate not only national development, but also sustainable revenue streams, particularly in foreign exchange, as we expand export-oriented industries and open our country to greater global participation. The focus is on building sustainable, people-centered communities. The designs of the program will address long-standing infrastructure challenges, such as drainage, traffic congestion, urban sprawl, whilst at the same time promoting resilience, climate adaptation, and smart mobility through multimodal transport systems. Each project will incorporate renewable energy techniques, very important, green building principles, and inclusive public spaces, reflecting our commitment to sustainability and environmental stewardship. Foreign investment will be critical to the success of this transformation. Mr. Hill has spoken to us about leveraging financial markets, and we very much thank Gregory Hill. Please give him a round of applause for helping us in this regard. We will partner with governments. We will partner with international banks, regional development institutions, private investors from around the world who share our vision for growth, equity, and sustainability. I emphasize again, TAT is open for business, ready to welcome a wide range of persons who want to invest, innovate, and grow with us. Together, we will demonstrate that our twin island nation state can do what it must do and what we must become. As you know, I returned from Tobago on Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. It seems so long ago. I want to thank Chief Secretary Farley and his team are here with us today. Let's welcome them to Trinidad. And today, I say to them and all of us, we roll out the blueprint for Trinidad. Chief Secretary, on another day, we'll be rolling out the blueprint for Tobago. So please wait for it. It's coming soon. In the coming years, you will see cranes piercing the skyline of Port of Spain. In San Fernando, you'll see dredgers will carve new horizons along the San Fernando coast. And you will see, you will be ready as it is, bulldozers all ready to go up to Tamana, Golden Grove, along the San Fernando to Mayaro to Galeota Highway. We will see all of them. This is a rhythm of renewal, the hum of a nation in motion, of hands at work and hearts lifted and families daring to dream again. It is a sound, I say, of a republic reclaiming its future, one beam, one brick, one bold step at a time. We are securing our nation's borders, from Galeota to Cedros to Tetron. We are executing a bold modernization agenda, upgrading infrastructure, deploying cutting-edge technology, and establishing robust customs and immigration outposts. Every frontier will be fortified. Every entry point will be equipped. This is not just another plan. It is a national imperative. In the south, a new dawn breaks in San Fernando. San Fernando will shine once more. The waterfront redevelopment marks the most ambitious investment ever made in South Trinidad. The development spans over 400 acres, as Ms. told us, transforming the city into a vibrant nexus of innovation, culture, and care. From the boardwalk to Lady Hills Avenue, San Fernando is being reimaged and reimagined as a living symbol of Southern pride, resilience, and progress. Cultural pulse through the Hatta Spaniard, the Art District, and the breezy open-air amphitheater, where the rhythm of steel band and tassa, the soul of our people, will take center stage. We have plans to anchor this transformation. Ms. John mentioned it, Plaza San Carlos, so I will not go much into that further, and also the Southern Health City delivering exceptional care. A world-class international conference center, and much more for our South City. So my friends, I thank you for your patience and your time. We will have infrastructural development throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad, and as I say, we roll out for Tobago. And then, I want to share this with you. This is only one segment of our economy that we're dealing with at this time. That is to say, the infrastructure development under the Ministry of Works and UDICOT. But we have many other sectors that we'll talk about at other times, in the agricultural sector, in the tourism sector, you name it, in every sector, in every ministry. So today, we want to congratulate the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure for bringing this plan forward, the team they've worked with, and I'm saying we will always keep in touch with you, talk with you, and as we close here today, I ask you, we've been talking to you all evening, so keep your eyes peeled on the screen. I want you to see the vision, actually with your own eyes. So we put together a video, and we want to thank you again for the time you've spent with us. May God continue to bless each and every one of you. Thank you very much.
Our future, presenting our Honourable Prime Minister with her personal revitalization blueprint of Trinidad and Tobago.
Can we thank the children? Please. Okay, give them a round of applause, please. The children are our future.
Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago, our vibrant twin island nation, now emerging as a global logistical hub. We're unlocking new pathways, connecting us to the world, signaling that we are open for business. Today, we proudly unveil the Revitalization Blueprint designed to usher in a new era of opportunity. Join us now as we walk you through the key projects shaping this exciting new chapter. We begin our journey in the South capital, San Fernando, where transformation takes root and vision becomes reality. Node 1 ignites the Revitalization Blueprint with 39 catalytic projects, each one a bold step toward a thriving, reimagined Trinidad and Tobago. The key subnodes include Plaza San Carlos, the vibrant waterfront living district blending commercial and residential life, and the pioneering health city. Plaza San Carlos, a journey through time and taste. Step into the heart of heritage at Plaza San Carlos, a beautifully preserved historic market square that pulses with life. Now as the centerpiece of the reproposed historic district, Plaza San Carlos welcomes the arrival of the last train to San Fernando, a nostalgic tram that glides along the waterfront, offering visitors a scenic and symbolic ride through the soul of the city. This vibrant pedestrian haven is lined with charming colonnades and brims with local flavor, from cozy restaurants and artisanal food stalls to eclectic craft vendors and stylish boutiques. Plaza San Carlos, the soul of the South.
Yesterday I met with sweet Dorothy. She said tomorrow I'm joining in matrimony. And if you act
Nestled along the serene shoreline, the Waterfront Hotel offers a luxurious escape with breathtaking views, elegant accommodations, and world-class service. Whether you're here for business or leisure, it's the perfect blend of comfort and coastal charm. We honor our island's role as sanctuary to the majestic leatherback turtle. This cutting-edge convention center stands as a living tribute to global connections. The center welcomes international summits, corporate dialogues, and vibrant cultural exchanges, all under one roof.
and I may never be a bride.
Wake up to the aroma of breakfast favorites and vibrant local produce. The al fresco market is the place to be. From live performances under the stars to weekend yoga and family fun, this dynamic space is the heartbeat of entertainment and activity. Whether you're catching a concert or kicking back with friends, there's always something happening here. The redevelopment of San Fernando's waterfront marks a historic turning point for the city and the wider southern corridor. Transforming a neglected coastal town into southern Trinidad's civic heart, the project promises to catalyze growth in tourism, healthcare, and the cultural economy. This is a cultural and economic renaissance, one that finally grants San Fernando the grand maritime frontage it has long deserved.
For on my mind I had nothing else but romance. I said to myself, boy, you better beat this iron.
Health City, spanning over 14 hectares, will serve as the cornerstone of a visionary precinct dedicated to health and wellness. Encompassing state-of-the-art hospitals, clinics, and medical research centers, it will foster high-skilled employment and attract patients from across the region. This strategic shift from a tourism-centric economy marks a vital step toward building a more resilient and diversified urban future. From San Fernando to Mayaro, the highway extension is forging a vital link to the southeast energy hub at Galeota. From there, we advance westward to Node 3 in Cedros, where upgrades to our Coast Guard facilities and the introduction of customs and immigration services will strengthen our southern gateway. Continuing northwest to Node 4, at Tetron, our Coast Guard headquarters, we complete the arc, from shoreline to open sea, fortifying Trinidad and Tobago's coastal border security. Revitalization Node 5, Port of Spain ascends. North Trinidad's capital city is stepping boldly into the future. As part of the Revitalization Blueprint, 38 projects will unfold across Port of Spain. Our north capital will showcase architectural excellence, a state-of-the-art multimodal hub, new port city and industrial estate, specialized health city, a waterfront worthy of a nation's pride. Every project is designed to honor our island's natural beauty while unlocking its potential. Port of Spain's waterfront will become a symbol of progress, pride, and possibility. The revitalized foreshore will unveil a new standard of coastal living, featuring premium waterfront residencies, sophisticated apartments offering panoramic sea views and seamless access to the city's vibrant edge. A dynamic retail promenade, a curated mix of boutiques, cafes, and culinary gems, thoughtfully arranged along a breezy boardwalk. A cultural and creative pulse, more than a destination, it's a living canvas of coastal charm, local flair, and everyday indulgence. Anchoring the waterfront skyline, this visionary development seamlessly integrates a global financial center with a state-of-the-art international convention center, creating a dynamic nexus for commerce and collaboration. Rising alongside our iconic hotel towers offering world-class hospitality, complemented by 2,000 luxurious waterfront residences that redefine urban living. With over 200 marina berths, the Invaders Bay Marina invites a vibrant maritime culture, positioning the destination as a premier hub for business and leisure. The Infinity 8 Towers. Embodying endless possibility, graceful balance, and the promise of renewal. Their name evokes the elegant arc traced by a hummingbird's wings, an eternal dance of motion and meaning, inspired by one of Trinidad and Tobago's most beloved creatures. Moving along the waterfront, we introduce you to our state-of-the-art convention center. Gracefully anchored on the breathtaking waterfront, our architecturally iconic, state-of-the-art convention center redefines Caribbean excellence, where visionary design converges with extraordinary experiences. A vibrant waterfront community awaits. On the western shoreline, this thoughtfully designed waterfront residence offers elegant low-rise buildings rising just 4 to 5 stories. Green spaces and recreational parks and pedestrian-friendly streetscapes. a 30,000 square foot cruise terminal hosting 3 post-Panamax cruise ships. Designed to welcome over 1 million visitors annually, it redefines Trinidad and Tobago's gateway to the world. A new gateway for efficient, comfortable, and accessible transport. Connecting communities and harmonizing land, sea, and rail for fluid movement. Swift, radiant, and impossibly light, the hummingbird dances through the landscape, inviting passengers to greet each day with eyes wide to possibility. It is a symbol of hope in motion, a thread of joy woven into the nation's rhythm. The re-engineered port facility integrates dry docking and advanced warehousing infrastructure with light manufacturing zones, a cutting-edge training and simulation center, regulatory offices, and a dedicated union headquarters. Designed for efficient operations and seamless logistics, the port city positions Port of Spain as the Southern Caribbean's premier transshipment hub, where global trade meets local innovation. See Lots Industrial Park and Free Trade Zone. Modernized port governance hub with enhanced operational efficiency. An international health city in Port of Spain will feature state-of-the-art towers dedicated to diabetes, oncology, cardiac, and clinical services. These will also host a world-class training center positioning Trinidad and Tobago as a regional leader in medical education and care. By fostering the exchange of knowledge and expertise among healthcare professionals and enabling collaboration with renowned international medical institutions, this initiative promises to be a transformative asset for our nation's health sector and global standing. As part of our blueprint, we're enhancing the Queen's Park Savannah with respectful, legacy-honoring upgrades that unlock its full potential. The capital is entering a bold new chapter, re-envisioning its waterfront and urban gateways into a vibrant, connected coastal district. A formidable 40-acre national security campus will dominate Mount Hope, unified, strategic, and built for purpose. It will centralize vital operations, eliminate fragmentation, and elevate Trinidad and Tobago's readiness to respond, protect, and prevail. Advancing our focus on national security. We commence Node 7. Tamana, Center for Justice. Moving to the Eastern Plains, the Tamana Prison Campus resides, the largest single infrastructure project in national security history. We have consolidated the existing correctional facilities and proposed redevelopment of the land for mixed-use purposes. This facility will be home to courthouses, prison and on-site residences with rehabilitation programs for the successful inmate reintegration. Tamana, a center for justice. Next, we shift our focus onto the Remand Yard, Port of Spain, a cornerstone of our revitalization narrative. Once a symbol of confinement, the Boys Jail now stands as a beacon of possibility. Emerging from this will be an arts and cultural center as a dynamic exhibition and events hall. It offers facilities for workshops, conferences, and cultural exchange. This bold transformation honors the past while empowering the future, where creativity, collaboration, and community take center stage. With the forthcoming integration of Carrera Prison into the Tamana program, a strategically positioned islet has emerged as available for redevelopment. This unlocks an exceptional opportunity to create a world-class vacation enclave envisioned with private bungalows, a serene marina, and an elegant boutique hotel designed to captivate discerning travelers. From isolation to inspiration. With the successful consolidation of the Tamana Justice Campus, a remarkable opportunity now unfolds, 280 acres of prime land poised for transformation. This isn't merely excess space, it's a blank canvas for national advancement. We envision a vibrant fusion of residential and commercial development that will serve our people and ignite regional prosperity. From welcoming homes to bustling enterprises and inclusive community spaces, every square foot will be shaped with intention. Episode 10 highlights Caroni. A modern racetrack, multi-use recreational and cultural venue awaits. We are proud to unveil Node 11, the central government campus. The aim is to decentralize ancillary government services by relocating them from our bustling capital city to Chaguanas. The CGC will not only host several key ministries like sports and culture, it will also feature a multifunctional event amphitheater. Additionally, the campus will incorporate the Energy Tower. This development will serve as our new central capital city. A nation shaping its future with purpose, one development at a time. Trinidad and Tobago, a global hub, connecting us to the rest of the world.
Thank you for that remarkable presentation, and thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, as we bring the ceremony to a close, we extend our gratitude to all dignitaries, partners, and guests for joining us here today. I now invite the members of the Diplomatic Corps, along with the guests seated in the front row with the Prime Minister, to make their way to the lobby for the ribbon-cutting ceremony and the official opening of the EOI room. For our guests seated here in the main hall, please turn your attention. Can you just give us 5 minutes while the Prime Minister and the rest of the front row goes to cut the ribbon at the room, while you all remain seated for 5 minutes, please? Everybody, you're now invited to the EOI room. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day. Hello, guests. I am now being asked and have you all be invited to the Octagon Room where all the booths have gone live. So that's the Octagon Room.
you.